met up with Alex Hormozi, the $250 million man that has nothing to sell you. Here's what I learned. People always say never meet your heroes. That's bullshit. Alex and Leila, I met both of them, were some of the nicest people on earth, and they were extremely generous with their time. I look up to the both of them, and they absolutely exceeded my expectations. We sat down for hours, and I learned from them on how they built up to a $250 million a year portfolio in their decade of business experience. And here are the 4 key things that I learned from Alex and Leila. Number 1, give away literally everything. It will make you the market leader by far because you will be far superior to literally everyone else in your space, in your industry. Give away the information and then sell the implementation. I think a lot of people have limiting beliefs around being afraid to give away their
secret sauce
on YouTube or on different social media platforms because they're like,
well, I have this thing that I need to sell, so if I give away too much, then once they buy it, they won't have anything to see.
And that's just really just a limiting belief. What the market is gonna do, let's say they're looking to get a marketing agency, that they wanna hire someone to do their marketing for them, right? They're gonna look on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok for some of the best marketers. So how are they gonna deem to find the best marketer? It's gonna be the people with the best shit, the best content, the most valuable, most high level stuff that makes it undeniable that they're the best in the space. So just give away everything like it's free, and then people will still want to work with you because you're the market leader. So even though you tell them everything to do, they'll still pay you for you to do it for them. When I was a sales rep, before I started my business, Better Endeavors, the Closing Bible, to where we have a sales training, then we also place these people into guaranteed 6-figure remote sales roles, and then we place these sales reps into other people's businesses completely for free for online service-based businesses. I didn't start this for a very long time. I did over $7 million in sales. I had a 60% close rate throughout my sales career before I even started this. And I didn't even realize when I was making $25,000 a month working from home, taking sales calls for different businesses and just cashing out commission checks, I had so many businesses that were trying to recruit me to get me to sell for their businesses because I was pretty damn good at what I did. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And all of these sales reps are like, what are you saying on the phones? Like, how do you follow up? What's your objection handling tactic? How are you doing as good as you're doing? And I was like, fuck off. Like, I'm making money. I'm making cash. Like, leave me alone. I'm busy. You know what I mean? I'm too busy for all this. So I didn't even realize, just from simply being busy, I was turning down all these people that really wanted to give me money. And the longer I said no, the bigger the yes was. As I'm placing these sales reps for free for all these businesses, I was asking Alex and Leila when I was sitting down with them, and I'm like, listen, I've placed 150 sales reps for all these different businesses. Now it's time to turn. Now it's time to start charging money, making money, right? And he's like, dude, why? He's like, why would you do that? He's like, wait till you hit $1 million a month, and then and only then can you start charging. Just keep telling people no, quit, don't charge them any money. And the longer you say no, the bigger that yes is gonna be. The second thing I learned from Alex and Leila was their decision-making framework for when there's a problem, how do we solve? They go in this order, from better to more to new. And let me explain what that actually means. So better is like, let's say for example, we're not getting enough sales calls on the calendar, right? It's like, okay, well, how do we get sales calls on the calendar? Oh, we're just posting on Twitter? Well, rather than saying, oh, Twitter's not working, let's go run YouTube ads. It's like, no, because new, which is the third thing on this list, it's the hardest thing to implement because it's not even being done at all. You know what I mean? So the step 1 is better. Are my tweets actually good? Am I not booking sales calls because my tweet sucks? Because the easiest thing is just make better tweets. So we take, double the amount of time really making good tweets, and we really craft everything. We make sure it's perfect. We study other content. We make better tweets. And then we go back to the drawing board and we look, okay, is it better? Like, are things improving? Are more sales calls being booked? No. Okay, interesting. Well, maybe it's because we're only tweeting 4 times a day. What if we tweet 8 times a day? So it's better and then it's more. And the reason more is after better is because oftentimes to do more, it requires more resources and more people to get that done. So doing things better is easier than doing more of the thing because it requires more resources oftentimes. And then in very rare instances, the problem still lingers and it still exists. And then we try the new thing. And I think with the instant gratification, culture that we live in, thanks to TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, people often just want to jump to the new thing. Like,
I tweeted for 30 days and it's not working and there's no calls, so I guess I just need to go do this new thing.
Like on TikTok, this one guy said I should run Instagram ads. Let me go run Instagram ads. Like, I did that for 2 weeks. It didn't work. Let me try YouTube ads. And then you just have this like disaster that you're creating behind you of all these half-built projects that never came to fruition because you didn't do better or more of that thing. You just went on to the new thing. So anytime you have a problem within your personal, professional life, you're in sales and you're trying to close more deals, go for better and then more and then new. Number 3, think big. Like big is physically possible. And I always like poo-pooed on like Grant Cardone and all these like, oh, just 10x, like make it 10x bigger. I was always like, shut up, dude, like you're annoying. But like when I really sat down with someone making $250 million a year, I saw the magnitudes of size that he actually thinks at, and it was really bizarre to me. And a lot of the specifics of basically what he was talking about was anytime I mentioned something like, you know, serving my market as far as like just basically salespeople, right? He's like, his thought immediately goes to like, what's the biggest constraint possible? Like, where do we cap out? He's like, how many salespeople are on Earth? And then how many salespeople speak English that are on Earth? His brain immediately just goes to what's the biggest physical thing possible, which is how many people are on this planet that would possibly buy your thing? And then narrow it down and weed stuff down and narrow down from there. And same thing with the business owners. He did the exact same thing. Like how many business owners on Earth would do this? And then we kind of narrow it down a little bit. And I think as a whole, it just made me set my goals so much bigger. Because right now we're doing like $1 million a year, which is like, it's cool. Like I just turned 23, doing $1 million a year is not bad. But I had the goal of selling my business when I'm 28 years old for $10 million. And after having that conversation, you can't see, but literally on my whiteboard right there, it just jumped to $30 million by 28 years old. Because I just realized how big my market is, how big my business can get. And I think it just takes being around people that are super successful, that have made a lot of money, to see the level that they think at, and then you can kind of match that and realize how small you are actually thinking. And number 4, I'm gonna completely nerd out here, so bear with me. They really narrow down the sub avatar of who they work with. As in, for me in particular, because I can't speak for what business you guys run. So let me give you guys a perfect example of this. One of the businesses we work with, they do marketing for home service businesses, but people who own home service businesses is pretty broad. There's multiple sub avatars of that, right? There's locksmiths, there's roofers, there's construction guys, there's plumbing guys. There are so many like sub avatars of just home services. It's very broad. And what he said is what they do inside of acquisition.com is they will actually survey every single sub avatar, and they'll find out what's the LTV, like what is the lifetime value of this customer? What is the close rate on this customer? What's the refund rate on this customer? How happy is this customer? Does the founder actually enjoy working with this type of person? Do they pay in full? Like what percentage of cash collected do they have up front? One of these sub avatars is going to be with glaring lights, the best of the best in almost all of these categories, and it's going to be so undeniable that that's your ideal avatar and you should only work with this person, that's what you do. And then as you sub-niche, where you go from we do marketing for home service businesses to we only do marketing for plumbers, now suddenly every single plumber is like, oh my God, this is perfect for me. And because it's so specific, you have less competitors within that super tiny niche, which again, it's not even really tiny, because when you think on the magnitude that he does and that everyone should, you realize there are so many plumbers on Earth here, and we have a lot of money that we can make with just this one specific person. Because I think what my instinct was when I heard this was,
oh my God, there's gonna be less people I can actually work with.
But that's not true. Like there's so much money out there and so much money that can be made. And these are the 4 key takeaways I got from spending hours with Alex and Leila Hormozi in Vegas. I urge you to subscribe and follow for more videos just like this.